So I woke up today and found the hashtag #WithRefugees trending on Twitter. I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And my goodness, I had no idea that refugees were all sugar and spice and all things nice. But if you take a look through this hashtag, that's exactly what you find. As if there's just no problem. Nothing's going wrong. Nothing's happening. Nothing. Oh, we finally got something. But generally this hashtag is rather unmolested by people telling them what's really going on. So I thought I'd just show you the sort of thing that we have to deal with constantly. We get stuff like this. Nearly 10 attacks a day on migrants in 2016. Oh my goodness. Aren't the Germans just such a bunch of bigots? What did the migrants ever do to them to deserve this? The answer is, of course, massive amounts of crime. This is an article from February 2016, which means that in 2015, the migrants committed 200,000 crimes. That was before the bulk of them had arrived. But I know what you're thinking, evil right-wing sites can't possibly be telling the truth. They couldn't possibly have accurate statistics. Just like Breitbart. Just because they have articles that say migrant crime and violence soars in German states, and they actually do seem to be sourcing, I don't know, the Baden-Württemberg state criminal police officer, probably a right-winger. Refugees really entered onto the crime scene last year. We are very worried about the rise in violence by asylum seekers, said a neo-Nazi. Oh, well, he's a police official, but he probably is also a neo-Nazi. The comments come following the release of figures which reveal a 95.5% spike in the number of physical attacks carried out by asylum seekers and migrants. Wow. Around 60% of the assaults take place in asylum accommodation, so that makes it okay. But 40% are carried out among the general public. Again, I mean, we should really listen to Angela Merkel. We should stick to the facts, and the facts definitely don't come from a place like Breitbart. We've all agreed this. Even if they appear to actually be citing the police themselves, they must be lying in some way. So what we need to do is look at anything a bit more neutral, like, oh, no, not more murder and violence in Germany. Germany's new crime statistics have shown a rise in violent crime but fewer thefts and break-ins, so it all balances out. Violent crime increased by 6.7% last year, rising to 193,000 cases from 181,000 in 2015. There was a similar increase in other crimes. Reported rapes of assault, murder, manslaughter and rape all went up last year in Germany. The German Interior Minister described the developments as worrying and blamed it on an overall coarsening of society. He pointedly refused to blame last year's refugee influx or any particular group for the problem, and the statistics bore him out. We are dealing with a rise in hate, a lack of respect and violence in general. We would not reduce that to any one particular group, whether left, right or foreigners. It might be that it is because of foreigners though. I mean, it's sad to say, but it does seem to be what the statistics are bearing out. So Germany's latest police crime statistics report revealed some 3,372 cases of politically or ideologically motivated crimes by foreigners were recorded in 2016, 66% up compared to 2015. Not good. And then we have this year's police crime report. Germany sees rise in crime committed by asylum seekers. I guess the Financial Times are some loony right-wing publication now because they're reporting the wrong thing. Figures released by the Interior Ministry showed that some 174,000 immigrants from non-EU countries were suspected of carrying out crimes last year, a 52% increase in 2015. I can only imagine what 2017's crime statistics will look like, if this is how the trend is going. I mean, good God. But hey, we don't want to blame any one particular group or anything. Migrant crime in Germany rises by 50%, new figures show. Oh dear, Angela. I guess when we stick to the facts don't really play in your favour, do they? Well, I mean, the Telegraph is loony right-wing craziness. I mean, it's not centrist or anything. It's crazy far-right BNP supporting paper, probably. But I love how this is phrased. The crime rate among migrants in Germany rose more than 50% last year, according to new figures that have raised concerns that the populist far-right might seize on the issue in the run-up to September's elections. I don't give a fuck what the populist far-right do. I give a fuck that there are so many goddamn crimes being committed by people who should know better. there should be a lower percentage of crime by refugees, because the refugees should be thinking, wow, our hosts have taken us in and they're paying for us to live in this country rather than getting bombed in Syria. So do you know what I'm not going to do? I personally am not going to commit a crime. Because I personally understand I am here at the good graces of the German people, and if, for example, I'm committing crimes and I get sent back, I might get killed, assuming I am a legitimate refugee and not just an economic migrant. Especially as Thomas de Maizière, the Interior Minister, again says, well, those who commit serious offences forfeit their right to stay here. Hang on, Thomas, I thought we weren't ascribing problems. What are you going to do? Deport Germans? Oh, is it not Germans? Is the problem the migrants? Well, I'm so sorry that reality has intruded on your politically correct fantasy. I didn't want to have to be saying this, but unfortunately we have to be honest about what's going on. I mean, look, crimes by migrants had increased disproportionately even when the huge influx into Germany under Angela Merkel's open-door refugee policy was taken into account. So just on a per capita basis, it shouldn't be this high. The proportion of foreign suspects, and migrants in particular, is higher than the average for the general population. Well, it's nice that you can finally say it and admit the truth. I guess these facts are a bit of a problem for Merkel, but what are you going to do? But he said that all migrants should not be blamed for the crimes of a minority. You know, it's getting to the point where it's not looking like a minority, is it? I mean, it's literally like 30 or 40% of the migrants have committed a crime. And at the rate we're going, eventually it will actually be the majority of migrants who have committed a crime in Germany, just on the numbers. If you've let in 1 million, 1.5 million migrants, and you're getting like hundreds of thousands of crimes a year, soon you will have more crimes than you have migrants. And then what are you going to say? Well, it's not all of them. Well, fuck me, man. I'm so sorry that it's not all of them, because then we could actually do something. What, until every single migrant has committed a crime, we can do nothing? Is that your suggestion? Is that what people should endure, is it? Should we not expect more from the migrants? Should we not expect anything from the migrants? But at least finally the German federal police will be listened to. And maybe the migrants who aren't actually committing the crimes and who are calling for the criminals to be deported will actually be listened to as well. I mean, I know that Germany is actually refusing people and sending them back now, but it should never have got to this point, should it? But you know, I do have sympathy for people who are actually refugees. People who are like, well, Christ, I've been forced out of my home due to ISIS or whatever war, wherever, and you are actually under threat of death if you go back to your country, and you need political asylum. I can completely empathise with those people, because they are probably not coming to take advantage. However, if you have an open door policy, you are incentivizing the sort of shitheels who will come and take advantage. And therefore, when you find yourself with literally millions of them, and the majority, it seems, or at least a huge minority, are total pieces of shit who have no respect for the culture that they have entered in order to escape, apparently, a war, you have to ask yourself, should we have been more cautious? Should we have incentivized the dirtbags from these countries to come, instead of only taking the people who legitimately need it?